Generous words of introduction, and thank you once again for inviting me to speak to the Golkar Institute. I think the Golkar Institute is a very important and timely initiative, and I think it will play a very important role in the history of Indonesia. So once again, I congratulate you all for launching the Golkar Institute at this time, and also providing an opportunity for young Indonesians to go back and learn and more about the world, and also about what the challenges facing Indonesia. And I was going to make one big point before I talk about geopolitics. When you go back to education, you will always try to find the experts who can guide you. And I want to alert you that be careful about trusting the traditional Western experts, because the Western experts are very lost, And I want to explain to you that's because if you look at the longer history of the world, right, say over the past 2,000 years, from the year 1 to the year 1820, for 1800 out of the last 2,000 years, the two largest economies were always those of China and India and the other Asian countries. So it's only in the last 200 years that Europe has taken off, that North America has taken off. So the past 200 years of Western domination of world history has been artificial, unnatural. And because it is unnatural, it is coming to an end. And that's what we are seeing today. We are seeing the end of the era of Western domination. Unfortunately, we are also seeing the end of the era of Western competence. And if you want examples of that, I'll give you two big examples. When COVID-19 happened, in the past, the Western countries would handle it better and the East Asian countries handle it badly. Now it's the opposite. Pa Irwin was mentioning how the situation in America has, improved, and I agree it has. But still, the number of deaths from COVID-19 in the US in terms of ratio of population is much higher than China. United States had about 600,000 deaths. If United States had the same percentage of deaths as China, instead of having 600,000 deaths, United States should only have had 1,000. See the difference? Instead of 600,000, they should only have lost 1,000 people. So that shows you the end of Western competence. And actually, I'm glad I'm speaking to you on 24th August. Because exactly 9 days ago, you saw what happened in Afghanistan. Now, United States spent 20 years and $1 trillion. I mean, $1 trillion is a lot of money. How do you spend 20 years and $1 trillion to create a state that fails? Now, that's the height of Western incompetence, right? So I want to emphasize this to you, because as you try to learn, as you try to understand the world, you get a lot of Western experts speaking to you, telling you this is what is happening in the world. But actually, I can tell you that I know many of them. They are friends of mine. They are lost. They have lost their way. So be careful about listening to Western experts. And so what I try to do with my writings and all that is to provide something, a non-Western perspective. on what is happening in the world, because the non-Western perspective will be the dominate the history of the world now. And especially when it comes to geopolitics. And I can assure you that no matter what you all do, no matter what job you do, no matter what you do, your life will be affected by geopolitics. And I'll try to explain that in my remarks too. And of course, in particular, your life will be affected by the biggest geopolitical contest that has broken out in human history. And this biggest geopolitical contest, which is what my book Has China Won is about, is of course between the world's number one superpower today, which is the United States of America, and the world's number one emerging power today, which is China. And this US-China contest will dominate global geopolitics for the next 10, 20 years. And it will definitely affect Southeast Asia. And the reason why I went to listen to the Vice President of the United States of America this morning. And thank you, Dr. Mulya, for changing the time of my lecture from the morning to the afternoon to allow me to go and listen to her. Because why do you think she came to Southeast Asia? Because she loves Southeast Asia? Or because she's worried about Chinese influence in Southeast Asia? I tell you, I think the United States is worried about Chinese influence in Southeast Asia. Lots of Chinese leaders have been coming. Not many American leaders are coming. So American leaders are coming. And they're coming because of the US-China geopolitical contest. You can see, even today, when the Vice President comes to Singapore, why? Because of the US-China geopolitical contest that has begun. So it's important for you to understand this contest very well. And this is what I will try to do in the next 30 minutes or so.